to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
From the ProCure Proton Therapy Cancer Treatment Studios, this is 1450 WCTC, New Brunswick, a Beasley Media Group station.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brian Shug. The U.S. is pulling out of the United Nations Human
got 5
Rights
minutes.
Council. U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley claimed that the group doesn't live up to its name because it refuses to address serious human rights abuses across the world. Haley also accused the Human Rights Council of being hostile to Israel. President Trump says there are just two choices when it comes to illegal immigration. Either the U.S. can totally open borders or criminal prosecution for lawbreaking. In a D.C. speech today, Trump again blamed Democrats for supporting loopholes in federal laws. Over 600 clergy and members of the United Methodist Church are condemning U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions for implementing and defending the practice of separating children and their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border.
In a formal complaint sent late Monday, they accused Sessions of child abuse, immorality, racial discrimination, and acting contrary to the church's beliefs. Officials from Catholic, Presbyterian, Episcopal, and Evangelical Lutheran religious organizations have also criticized the policy, either through their own statement or by signing onto letters blasting the policy. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano continues to spew lava on the Big Island.
Lava.
Scientists say lava that's been flowing for a month has now formed a massive river of 2,100-degree molten rock traveling to the sea. The lava has been getting hotter, causing it to flow much faster than the first eruptions back in May. A Pennsylvania judge says she will rule in due time on whether rapper Meek Mill should get a new trial in a decade-old gun and drug convictions. Mill addressed a crowd of his supporters yesterday at a rally in Philadelphia.
When y'all came here and stood out for me, I wanted y'all to know that I will stand up for y'all family members. That's the music career and my platform that I have to actually extend myself.
Mill and his attorneys were in a criminal justice center courtroom on Monday asking Judge Janice Brinkley for a new trial. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
This week's featured offer for WCTC AM.com's half-price deals is a real good one. It is On Fire for Fitness. You'll find them at 1329 Prince Rogers Avenue in Bridgewater, right by the Bridgewater Commons Mall. This is a ladies-only gym, which makes this an extra special place and just a great destination. It features the PACE equipment, which got its start in hospitals and rehabs. Now included with your membership, personal training, plus On Fire for Fitness does weight loss challenges and nutritional counseling. Now, just because I said it's a ladies-only gym doesn't mean the guys can't go to the website, WCTCAM.com, click on half-price deals, and purchase a $50 certificate for only $25. It's good towards 1 month of training or a class package. But get to the website, WCTCAM.com, am.com. Have your credit card handy and get this half-price certificate to On Fire for Fitness in Bridgewater, the featured offer for WCTCAM.com's half-price deals.
You owe over $10,000 in back taxes. You've called every tax firm out there. They all say the same thing, making promises they never keep, and you're sick of it. What you really
You're
need is
sick of it.
on your back taxes. If you're faced with garnishments, levies, audits, or years of unfiled tax returns, we'll fight to get you the new start you deserve. Call 1-800-799-2745. Our New Start program will stop collection efforts, remove any liens the IRS has in place, and help you reduce your back taxes by as much as 80%. That's right, 80%. Don't wait until another tax season ends and another year of penalties and interest are added to your balance. If you owe at least $10,000 to the IRS and need a new start on your back taxes, call 1-800-799-2745. That's 1-800-799-2745. Let the professionals at Coast One Financial Group fight to get you the new start you deserve. Again, that's 1-800-799-2745.
Checking WCTC traffic at the 5 o'clock hour. Sponsored by the Curly Lions Foundation, the Garden State Parkway. Still busy northbound, 129 to 131. Southbound, it's 132 to 131. Stop and go. And on the turnpike, you've got the crashed car lanes. Southbound lane is blocked by the Parkway, exit 11. There are some southbound delays in the truck lanes as well with rubbernecking. And still an accident on 109 southbound London by Southwood Avenue. Roads and Colitis Foundation.
Don't forget the mic.
Yours and walk to venue. You get started at CCT Steps down 87 degrees at your WCTC traffic.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Beautiful weather this evening in central Jersey. Pleasantly warm, clear skies, and overnight lows at 60 to 65. Clouds do thicken up tomorrow. A scattered afternoon shower, high 80 to 85. Showers become a steadier period of rain Wednesday night. Then sunshine returns Thursday, and we're back in the 80s. With the 1450 WCTC forecast, I'm Ken Elliott.
They do not necessarily represent the views of the advertisers, management, staff, or media of WCTC.
This is WCTC's Sound Advice, the local one-hour program designed to give you the knowledge, information, and guidance to help you make better decisions in your personal and professional lives. Now, WCTC's Sound Advice. Time now for Talking Sports. Here's your host, Jonathan Friedman.
Good evening, Central Jersey. It's Tuesday, and we're talking sports right here on the voice of Central Jersey, Talk Radio 1450 WCTC. I'm John Friedman. Dave Raish is on the other side of the glass. That's the voice you hear when you call the show. Dave, what's happening?
Reading about the saga of Senators Mike Hoffman. He got traded twice this morning.
I saw that.
Bullying allegations with his fiance.
I saw that. Lots to talk about in the next hour. You bring it, we'll talk about it. Give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC Ocean.edu. Also, we're streaming the show. Go to WCTCAM.com. Click on that red button and you'll get us on your mobile device, laptop, etc. And enjoy the show on the World Wide Web. Lots to cover in the next hour, including the NBA draft takes place in Brooklyn on Thursday evening. I'll break that down for you. Later in the show, I'll share with you the NJ.com first team boys and girls varsity lacrosse from this season. NFL.com's analyst Maurice Jones-Drew released his top 10 running backs for 2018. We'll see if you and I agree. The College World Series is well underway in Omaha. I'll update you on the latest. A look around the majors, other sports news, your calls, and a lot more. And speaking of calls, give us a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC Ocean.edu. Also, if you want, you can see the show visually streaming. If you go to Facebook and type in Talking Sports with Jonathan Friedman, you'll get me there. You can do the same thing on YouTube, and you can follow me in the show at John Sports Talk. That's Jon, at John Sports Talk on Twitter. All right, so we're going to get the night started. We got a lot to cover tonight, and we'll take you into Somerset Patriot baseball. They're in Lancaster tonight, and we'll talk to Mark Schwartz in just a little while after the break. All right, so let's talk about the NBA. You know, we're going to do a mock draft here. I'm going to go over a mock draft here today, and there were 10 of them I looked at today, at least 10 of them, and they're pretty much all the same. What I have determined, though, is of all these guys that are going to get drafted, top 1 through 15, 1 through 20, whatever it is, none of them, except one guy really, is NBA ready, so to speak, they said, okay? And we're going to go over this, that, you know, a lot of these young players, especially the kids that are coming out of college after their freshman year, they're not NBA ready. Are they going to be NBA ready in a year or two? Absolutely. If they're as good as they've been touted to be, absolutely. But there's one guy, and we're going to talk about him, this European guy. He was the MVP and won the Euro League as a 19-year-old. So I would say he's the closest to being NBA ready. Although the other, you know, in Europe, it's a totally different game in the NBA. So let's take a look. I went through a lot of NBA drafts today. And the one that I thought made most sense was probably the ESPN one. They're all pretty much the same. I went CBS. I went everywhere and looked at mock drafts, amateur mock drafts, everything. So, and again, it doesn't ever turn out the way it's supposed to be. It may turn out where Ayton of Arizona goes 1, but after that, we don't know what's going to go on, and we don't know that Ayton's going to go 1. We all know he may go. Oh, he's going 9 to the Knicks. He's going to last that long. Maybe he does. So let's take a quick look at what ESPN, for example, thinks that it will happen. And again, nothing in stone because it just doesn't work that way. So at 1, the Phoenix Suns own the number 1 pick. If I was them, I'm trading this pick. But it looks like they're not going to. It says here they'll go with DeAndre Ayton, the kid out of the Bahamas who played for Arizona. Who had a fabulous year and is now he's a big boy, real big boy, and a nice sized body and everything, but not NBA ready. Another year or so, another 2, but he's going to be a good player. There's no doubt about it. At number 2, they're saying that Sacramento is going to take the kid I was talking about, the European Luka Doncic. Now, I saw some film on him today, and you know, it's hard to tell. When you're watching European basketball, it's incredibly hard to tell how someone's going to do in the NBA. It's a totally different game. The court's totally different. It's much bigger. They're a shooting league. I mean, they bomb from outside. That's what they do. Now, there were some things I saw on this footage with him that was very impressive. He's a good passer. There's no doubt. I saw some passing he made that was just beautiful and the kind that you either have it or you don't when it comes to passing. And he's a good ball handler. In the NBA, he'll be a point forward. But, you know, when you're on a bad team like these top 3 picks, you know, it'll be frustrating for him to go from Euro League champion to the cellar in the NBA. And none of these guys are going to have an impact this year. I really don't believe. There's one guy, there's that guard out of Alabama we'll talk about. He may have an impact, but nobody else I think is really going to have an impact. So it has here, so it's got Sacramento taking Luka Doncic at two. It's got the Atlanta Hawks, who have 3 picks in the first round, taking a Jaren Jackson, a big 7-footer. And then it's got at number 4, it's got the Grizzlies taking, who I like the most of all the centers here, Mohamed Bamba. I like that guy. I think he's good. And I also think Dallas with number 5 with Marvin Bagley III, although Duke players scare me as professionals. Marvin Bagley, he looks like a really good player, strong, well-built. At 6, they have the Orlando Magic taking Michael Porter Jr. They've got the Bulls at number 7 taking Wendell Carter Jr. In Cleveland, with that number 8 pick, they have them taking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They've got the Knicks taking the kid out of Oklahoma, Trae Young. Now, he doesn't impress me. And what he doesn't impress me about is he doesn't play defense, or he doesn't know how to play defense. Well, you better learn to play defense in the NBA, I'll tell you that, especially as a point guard. Of all the point guards, I like him the least, but a lot of people are high on him. At number 10, they've got the Sixers taking Mikal Bridges. At number 11, they've got the Hornets taking, this is the kid I'm talking about out of Alabama, Colin Sexton. He's fabulous. I mean, the kid's 6'3". He can play defense. I saw him play at Arizona. Alabama went to Tucson to play Arizona last season, and he was fabulous. I mean, the guy could do it all. And 6'3" is a real nice size for a point guard in the NBA. Real nice. Steve Nash was 6'3", by the way. He doesn't look 6'3", but he's 6'3". He got great skills. If there's a freshman guard out there that I would say should have come out and is going to come out and is going to be a good player, it's this kid. I really like him. It's got at 12 the Clippers taking Lonnie Walker the fourth. I'm not familiar with him. It's also got the Clippers go back-to-back with 12 and 13. It's got them at 13 taking Robert Williams. At 14, it's got Denver taking Kevin Knox. At Washington, it's got at 15, they got the Wizards taking Miles Bridges. At 16, now here's where Phoenix has another pick in the first round. They got them taking Zaire Smith. It got at 17, it's got the Milwaukee Bucks taking Mitchell Robinson. At number 18, it's got, and this is going to have an impact on the Kawhi Leonard situation. It's got San Antonio taking 18, in the 18th spot, Dezanin Musa. At 19, now here's another team that's got 3 picks in the first round. The Atlanta Hawks has them at 19 taking Eli Okobo. I guess that's how you say it, Okobo. At 20, they've got the Timberwolves taking Kevin Huerter. At 21, it's got the Jazz taking Aaron Holiday. At 22, it's got the Bulls taking Troy Brown. At 23, it's got the Pacers taking Jacob Evans. At 24, it's got the Portland Trail Blazers taking Josh Okogie. At 25, it's got the Los Angeles Lakers taking that kid out of Villanova, Dante DiVincenzo. He was fabulous. He was the Goose Givens of this generation of a championship game in the finals. He was fabulous in college for Villanova. At 26, when staying in Philadelphia via Villanova, it's got the Sixers taking Jerome Robinson. It's got Boston with the 27th pick, and Boston might have to end up trading this if they're going to make a deal here. It's got them at 27 taking DeAnthony Melton. It's got Golden State at 28 taking Gary Trent Jr. At 29, it's got the Nets, all your Net fans out there. It's got them taking Keita Bates-Dupe, one of the two. And here's the Atlanta Hawks again with another first-round pick, taking a Kyrie Thomas. So that's 3 picks for Atlanta, 2 picks for Phoenix. And then, so that's a look at the first round. And I know Phoenix and Atlanta have very early second-round picks too. So, but you can't go by this. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors right now in a conference room where one team is on a conference call with another team playing, looking at ideas, talking to each other, looking, hey, could you do this for us? Maybe, or could you draft this guy for us? We'll draft this guy for you. Then we'll switch picks. A lot of things are going to be happening, I think, especially in the second round. And again, if you want to improve your NBA team, you gotta hit on your first rounders. There's no doubt about it. It's terrible. You set your franchise back 3-4 years when you don't hit on a first rounder. That's number one. You got to make sure your due diligence is correct. That's one. And two, you got to be successful in the second round. There are a ton of successful second round guys in the NBA. Probably way more than first round guys if you think about it. And in the third round too, you got to make these things happen then. That's where you got to find the guy. That's where you got to find lightning in a bottle with players. So that's a quick look at the NBA draft. You may see a lot of wheeling and dealing where veterans tomorrow are being traded and picks are being traded with them, or draft choices are being traded, or the slot or the pick itself is being traded for veterans. I look for Kevin Love for Cleveland to be traded. I look for a lot of guys to get traded. It's sounding like Beal in Washington may get traded. We got a lot to go over, so that's the NBA draft. I'm going to keep you updated on some high school stuff that went on this week in New Jersey. We'll talk NBA later. We'll talk college baseball. We got a lot to do. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-WCTC. We'll check weather and the roads. We'll be right back.
Grab the kids, grab your friends, and come out to the North Brunswick Youth Sports Festival through Sunday, June 24th. Enjoy rides, games, food, and nightly entertainment, including spectacular fireworks shows both Saturdays at 10 p.m. Entertainment acts from Eudora Farms Petting Zoo, Victoria Circus, Elephant Encounter Show, Sea Lion Splash Show, and Bengal Tigers. All shows free with admission. Live
Is Mark on?
Mark's ready.
At NBYSF.com. Tuesday is $12 Tuesday. Get a $12 wristband for all rides. Wednesday is Dollar Day at the Youth Sports Festival. Saturday and Sunday, pay one price for all rides. All proceeds benefit the North Brunswick Youth Sports Programs. Don't miss all the fun through Sunday, June 24th on the grounds near DeVry University, Route 1 North in North Brunswick. Festival hours, weeknights 6 to 11, Fridays 6 to midnight, Saturdays 3 to midnight, and Sundays 3 to 11. Visit NBYSF.com or Facebook for all the promotions, discounted tickets, and coupons.
Hey, where should we go for lunch today?
How about the Perkins in East Brunswick on Route 18?
Perkins? The breakfast place with the bakery?
Yes, Perkins. They have great lunch and dinner menus, too. Most people think of them as just being for breakfast, but Perkins is so much more than that.
What's on the lunch menu?
A great selection of fresh soups and salads, really good signature burgers, even skillets made with fresh ingredients. You should try one.
I think I will. You said Perkins does dinner, too?
They sure do. Hearty meals like turkey, pork chops, delicious pot pies, chicken dishes, lots of choices.
Perkins for lunch, huh? Who knew? Let's go.
If you think Perkins in East Brunswick is just for breakfast, think again. Enjoy great lunch and dinner options, and of course, the legendary breakfast menu Perkins is known for. 7 days a week from 3 p.m. till closing for every adult entree ordered. One kid under 12 eats free. You'll find Perkins at 286 Route 18 North in East Brunswick near Walmart. Stop in anytime.
Checking WCTC traffic, sponsored by the Ad Council and National Highway Traffic Safety Administration on the Garden State Parkway southbound. Stopping the traffic is 135 to the Colony Rest area with a crash on the shoulder. And then more delays after that. The local lanes are tied up from 117 out to the crossover to the express lanes. An accident on 130 southbound of Brader Road in North Brunswick. Did you know that motor vehicle crashes are a leading cause of death for kids ages 1 to 13? Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is in the right car seat for their age and their size. Be sure you're sure. 85 degrees, WCTC traffic law.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. It'll be mainly clear tonight in central Jersey, nice and comfortable, lows by morning at 60 to 65. We will see an increase in cloud cover tomorrow. There could be a spotty shower later on in the afternoon, high 80 to 85. Then periods of rain build in Wednesday night, but it becomes mostly sunny again by Thursday afternoon. Ken Elliott on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line. It's 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. Ocean.edu. All right, joining us on his weekly segment on a Tuesday, we'll check in with my man Mark Schwartz. He gives you the play-by-play of the Somerset Patriots. They're in Lancaster again. Mark, what's happening?
Not much, John. How are you doing today?
How are you today? Hot in Lancaster?
Oh, man, it is real hot over here. We touched almost 100 degrees yesterday. Scorcher again today.
All right, so tell me about the weekend, how successful things were. I know it was a big crowd weekend. I watched one of the nights on Facebook. It looked like you had great crowds. How'd they do this weekend? And talk to us a little bit about this Lancaster series and how we're hanging in there with Long Island.
Yeah, well, the weekend was massive for us, John. It is every year. We averaged, I believe it was a little over 7,200 fans over our 3 games over the weekend. It was just a huge series for us. I mean, Friday night's game brought out 7,598. Saturday was 7,606. And even on Sunday for Father's Day, 6,617. So attendance-wise, it was a massive weekend for us. In terms of the play on the field, the Patriots did take 2 out of 3 from the New Britain Bees, so that was a big-time series for the Patriots. The Bees had entered as the hottest team in the Atlantic League. They had won 5 straight games. And we had a lot of excitement over the weekend. The Patriots won the first game 7-0. They blew a late lead in game 2. But on Father's Day, they were actually getting no hit through the first 6 innings of the ballgame.
Wow.
Yeah, they had 3 hits in the bottom of the 7th inning, including a 2-out, 2-run single from Mike Francoso that turned a 1-run deficit into a 2-1 lead, and they wound up holding on. It was a big-time win because the Bees had been hot on the Patriots' tail. But going into this series now against the Lancaster Barnstormers, the Patriots lost last night 13-6. Actually held a couple of leads in the game, but the Barnstormers lineup and their offense was just too much for this team. And that paired with a Long Island Ducks win at their home ballpark today against the Sugarland Skeeters, has Somerset now just 1 game up for first place in the Liberty Division. So a really tight race moving into the final week and a half of the first half.
Now, we're done with Long Island, I know, for the first half, right? We're not playing them again, right, in the first half?
Yeah, in the first half, we're done against Long Island. We do have the tiebreaker. So while the Patriots are technically up one game right now in the standings because they own the tiebreaker, it sort of works as like a two-game lead.
Right, exactly. And let me ask you, when officially does the first half end?
So the first half ends on July 5th. So it's pretty much, it's honestly, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
But, there's still 2 weeks with only being up a game. There's not a lot of breathing room there. And this is a Patriots team that's, they got off to a hot start, but they've kind of hovered a little bit over the last week and a half. In fact, they've just alternated wins and losses for a while now. They haven't won back-to-back games since June 6th when they swept a doubleheader against Sugarland Skeeters. And aside from that, they haven't won back-to-back games again since all the way back in the end of May. So, this is a team that's really just been playing 500 ball over the last 3 weeks, and they're sort of riding off that hot start that keeps them in first place in the Liberty Division.
Well, fortunately, they all count, right? They all count. So,
that's true.
So officially, we're going to end on July 5th. So we got 2 weeks to go with there. So that's going to be a doozy, and it looks like we're going to need a little help along the way, right? It looks like we'll need some help. Whoever Long Island plays. Who we playing after you get done with Lancaster? You come home?
Yeah. So this is a massive 3-game series against the Barnstormers. They're the top team in the Freedom Division. After this ends tomorrow night, the Patriots return home. It's their final homestand of the first half. They've got 6 games. 3 over the weekend against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. The first time they're going to play them this season. But the Blue Crabs are in last place in the Freedom Division, so... Easy now.
Don't tell the team that.
I know, but the Patriots hope to get some home cooking coming back to TD Bank Ballpark, going up against a team that's struggled so far this season. So it's 3 against the Blue Crabs, and then 3 more next week against the New Britain Bees, which will be another big-time series for this team. And that'll do it for the first half for the home schedule. The Patriots have been a far better home team than they have been a road team this season. And then they finish with an 8-game road trip to complete the first half. So it's going to really be crunch time. It's 4 games against the York Revolution, third place in the Freedom Division, but the York Revolution still have been a very strong team. They've got an over 500 record. And then it's 4 more against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs to finish the first half. So 8 games on the road to finish the first half for a team that has struggled on the road.
Well, how many games under are we on the road?
So we are 2 games under on the road.
All right, not terrible. If you play 500 on the road, you're okay. You're okay. So just gotta, and you're gonna need. Sounds like you're gonna need to sweep Maryland.
Yeah, this weekend's gonna be big because not only are the Patriots playing Southern Maryland, but the Ducks come over here to Lancaster to take on the first place Barnstormers. It's an opportunity because the Ducks have a tough opponent. Should the Barnstormers take care of business here against Long Island and the Patriots take care of business against Southern Maryland back home in central New Jersey, then it gives Somerset an opportunity to maybe separate themselves a little bit. But, at this point, you just got to take it 1 game at a time. It's fun to look ahead, but, this team, they need to start getting some wins and need to start putting up back-to-back wins to not only stay with where their record is, but improve upon it.
Now, give me the good for this week. Give me the bad for this week.
No, the good for this week is that the offense is finally starting to hit the long ball. It's been a while since they've hit, a couple of home runs in the same game. They did so yesterday, but they still rank last in the Atlantic League in home runs. But they are getting a little bit more power, so that's the good.
All right.
The bad is that this bullpen has really struggled as of late. They gave up a couple of late leads over the previous homestand, and even yesterday, the Patriots were leading 5-3 after 5 innings. They brought in their bullpen, and the bullpen over the final 4 innings of the ballgame wound up allowing 10 runs. And you're not going to win ball games if your bullpen allows 10 runs over the final 4 innings. So
drive a manager crazy. He's having Rolaids in that dugout.
That's right. So the good, the power seems to have returned. The bad, the bullpen needs to right the ship.
That's great. All right, Mark. So I got 2 minutes left in this segment. So listen, we'll speak to you next Tuesday. Good luck in Pennsylvania this week, and we'll talk to you Tuesday. And good luck this weekend. And to the fans, get out and support your Somerset Patriots.
All right, I appreciate it as always, John.
All right, Mark, have a good week there, buddy. All right, so that's Mark Schwartz. He's the play-by-play guy of the Somerset Patriots. They're trying to win that first half of the Atlantic League, and they've got Long Island right on their tail. All right, before the break, let me quickly give you Maurice Jones-Drew of the NFL Network or NFL.com came out with his top 10 running backs in the NFL in 2018, and here we go. I don't know if I agree with them all, but let's take a look. We got at number 1, we got Le'Veon Bell. At number 2, we got Todd Gurley. At number 3, we got David Johnson coming off an injury. I don't know how he could pick him. At number 4, we got LaShawn McCoy. Not agreeing there. At number 5, we got Ezekiel Elliott. At number 6, we got Alvin Kamara. At number 7, we got Jordan Howard. At number 8, we got Kareem Hunt. At number 9, we got Leonard Fournette. And at number 10, we've got Derrick Henry. And when we come back after the break, Dave and I will break that down just a little bit and say who should have been in there. Where's Devonta Freeman? I don't see him in there. So when we come back after the break, we're going to take a look at the final top 10 NJ.com public school baseball teams, how that ended up. We're going to take a look at the top first teams for lacrosse from boys and girls high school, how that ended up this year. We're going to take a look at Major League Baseball, and we'll talk about Dutch Renner died today. How about that? What an umpire. You're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-WCTC. We're the voice of Central Jersey. Dave Race is behind the glass. I'm John Friedman. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jonathan Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available.
Think of one running back.
Ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
NBC News
Radio. I'm Tom Roberts. President Trump says the U.S. has only 2 options on illegal immigration.
Totally open borders or criminal prosecution for lawbreaking.
The Trump administration is facing a growing outcry over forced family separations at the border with Mexico. Congress is taking a closer look at the watchdog report on the Hillary Clinton email investigation. Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz accused the FBI of mishandling the probe and singled out former FBI Director James Comey for strong criticism. Crews battling the huge 416 fire in southwestern Colorado are worried about this week's return of hot, dry weather. The fire burning near Durango has already burned over 34,000 acres. Fewer Americans are lighting up than ever before. The Centers for Disease Control reports just under 14% of Americans smoked in 2017.
Damn.
Fears of a potential trade war with China are setting the Dow plummeting 287 points today. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
It's revolutionary. For the first time ever, save up to $240 on 4 select Goodyear tires from American Tire and Auto Care. We're providing the best savings on tires this month. Save up to $240 on 4 select Goodyear tires. Can't get cooler than that? Sure it can. Stop by for an air conditioning diagnostic. Our climate control experts will make sure it's ready for the summer. We offer the right kind of tires, the right kind of service at the right price. American Tire and Auto Care with 6 convenient locations. Offer excludes Eagle F1 and Front Tires. See AmericanTires.net for details. Offer expires June 30th.
So the hospital says mom's ready for rehab, but I don't know which one to choose.
My friend chose Parker at McCarrick in Somerset because it's a top-rated post-acute rehab with 5-star ratings in all categories. McCarrick has a full range of rehabilitation services, including stroke, pulmonary, orthopedic, and cardiac care.
Speech therapy, too?
Speech, physical, and occupational therapies 7 days a week in their newly renovated rehab center. Call Parker at McCarrick, 732-545-4200.
Diamonds and jewelry and coins they buy. Diamonds and jewelry and coins they buy.
Don't be Scared of not getting the highest possible cash offer for your diamonds, jewelry, coins, and watches? At National Estate Jewelry Buyers in East Brunswick, they've been buying and paying top dollar for over 18 years. National Estate will never ask you how much you want for an item. It's unethical and cowardly. Leave the scaring to scarecrows and follow the road. Route 18, that is, to National Estate Jewelry Buyers in East Brunswick. Stop by or call for your free evaluation, 732-257-GOLD.
You've probably heard lots of window and door companies claiming to be the best. But the best windows and doors are the ones that are right for you and your home. With Pella Windows and Doors, you get 8 product lines to choose from and a price point for every home. Now through July 19th, get 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Call 877-98-PELLA to schedule your free in-home consultation now. Visit them online at PellaNJNY.com or stop by your local Springfield showroom today.
Checking WCTC traffic, and this report is sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. And we are still dealing with these delays on the Garden State Parkway. An accident on the shoulder by the Colonia Rest area has things tied up southbound around exit 135, and there's more traffic after that. And the local lanes getting down to the Art Center express lanes to work out slightly better. We've got traffic backed up on 130 southbound in North Brunswick, an accident by Raider Road. This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. It's 85 degrees. WCTC Traffic Watch.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Nice and pleasant this evening in central Jersey. Sunshine continuing. And later on tonight, it stays mainly clear. Overnight low at 60 to 65. Clouds gather tomorrow. We could even see a shower by afternoon, a high 80 to 85. Then steadier rain builds in Wednesday night, but sunshine is back on Thursday. Ken Elliott on 1450 WCTC.
All right, we're back. We're talking sports on a Tuesday. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. We're the voice of Central Jersey. All right, so I gave you a hit. Maurice Jones-Drew's top 10 running backs for 18. First of all, he's got David Johnson at number 3. He got hurt last year, so how could he be number 3? He's not better than Alvin Kamara of New Orleans. Dave, what are you missing here?
Well, I hope, of course, it's Saquon Barkley, the Giant fan. But
all right.
I think Dalvin Cook of the Vikings should be.
There you go. There's a good one.
He used to got hurt last year.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. And where's Devonta Freeman? I mean, what more's that guy got to do? I mean, I'm not being a homer or anything, but come on. You got to get him in there. So, all right. So, anyway, all right. So, when I left, longtime umpire Dutch Renner died at 88. I tell you, his last year, it was 92. He umpired pretty, he umpired, he didn't retire at 62, so to speak. Dutch Renner, who was the Major League Baseball's most identifiable umpire for nearly 2 decades, passed away at the age of 88. Renner served as a National League umpire from 74 to 92. During that time, he was a fan favorite because of his expressive strike calls. Renner would step back behind the plate and go to one knee and point toward the dugout while calling out a strike in a volume when the volume was loud enough to easily be heard throughout the ballpark. It's totally true. So, Dave, you know what? Try to get as loud as it. Let's hear what a Dutch Renner first strike sounds like. I love that. Can we go one more time? Just one more time. And you hear he goes, what he does is he goes, strike 1 or strike 2. And he does this for 9 innings. I don't know how you can do this for 9 innings. One more time, Dave. I love Dutch Renner. That's the best. So rest in peace, Dutch Renner. Big part of my childhood. And umpires, they're part of the game too. And they bring a little personality to it also. So, anyway, so that's the just a little sad news there. All right, let me get you updated on some high school stuff that I think is real important and very impressive. Let's start with the NJ.com top 10 baseball teams in New Jersey in 18. At number 10 is Somerville. At number 9 is Middlesex. At number 8 is St. Peter's Prep. At number 7 is Don Bosco. At number 6 is Del Barton. At number 5 is Bishop Atus. At number 4 is Eastern. At number 3 is St. Augustine. At number 2 is Hunterdon Central. And the number 1 team at 30-2 in New Jersey high school baseball was Passaic Hills. So congratulations to them, a 30-2 record. Very impressive. And that's courtesy of Richard Greco, Kevin Mitnick, and Josen Dallas of NJ.com. Nobody covers high school sports in this state, in New Jersey, like NJ.com. Those guys are great. All right, so let me give you the next NJ.com. This is the first team lacrosse. The first day, there's 3. You can make the first team, the second team, and the third team. And I'm only going to give you the first team for girls and boys. So we'll start with the girls. In the first team is first person is Annabelle Sobrowski of Oak Knoll. Then we've got Casey Knobloch of Moorestown. She's a senior. Then we've got Mena Loshier of Ridge. She's a senior. Then we've got Caitlin Mead of Sparta. And we've got Lily Cloak of Ridgewood. We've got, this is lacrosse, the first team, all-star, so to speak, team in New Jersey for girls. Then we've got Collie Sundin of Morristown. She's a senior. We've got Ty Janikowski of Bridgewater Raritan right here. And Molly Dunphy of Ridgewood. She's a junior. Then we have Kaylee Brennan of Summit. She's a senior. Delaney Lowler of Moorestown. She's a junior. We've got Kara Rahim of Ridgewood. She's a junior. So that's a look at the girls. That's the first team, all-star team of lacrosse girls varsity. That's impressive. You make that first team, that's saying something. All right, let's take a look at the boys. This is the first team for the boys. We've got Joe Angrick of Northern Highlands. He's a senior. We've got Canyon Birch of Manasquan. He's a junior. We've got Mac Brindle of Chatham. He's a senior. We've got Matt Campbell of Del Barton, followed by Zach Cole of Lenape. He's a senior. We've got Gavin DeFuria of Watchung Hills. And we've got Jonathan Taub of Watchung Hills also. He's a senior. And let's see, we got Trevor Glavin of Mountain Lakes. We've got Bobby Russo of Bridgewater Raritan. Bridgewater Raritan always has a real good lacrosse program. So that's the top first team from the boys lacrosse in New Jersey. So congratulations to the boys and girls in those first teams. It's impressive. These are real big-time lacrosse players to make that list. So congratulations. All right, we'll take a quick look at the men's College World Series that's going on in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see here. On tonight, we've got North Carolina and Mississippi State. We've got Arkansas and Texas Tech. And that's who's playing tonight. And here's who's alive so far right now. We've got North Carolina got by Oregon State to get to where they are right now. Oregon State got by Washington. That was last night. I watched that game. Arkansas got by Texas, and Texas is out. Arkansas moving on. And Texas, Florida, and looks like they play on Thursday. So actually, they haven't been knocked out yet, Texas. So Texas and Florida will play on Thursday. So if you go to ESPN, you'll get all of these games. College baseball at this time of year is fabulous. I mean, you're talking the top amateurs around the country, and they've come together as a team, and they're in Omaha and trying to win a College World Series. A lot of big schools, you know, it's not like, and we talked about it last week, and we also talked about it on the sister station WMTR last Thursday, is that there's no Coastal Carolinas out there this year. There's no little tiny school that knock off the big boys, which they did when they beat Arizona 3 years ago. It was really impressive. So that's a look at the College World Series. So I took a look also, by the way, at Major League. We're going to go over a little later. I'm going to save that. We're going to look at the All-Star break and who's going to be the starters in each league. And I got to tell you, what's nice is everybody, for the most part, in both leagues are deserving of starting so far where we are today with the vote. But I'm glad to hear that, because when you can go to MLB.com and you can vote 35 times on 35 separate ballots, that can cause a problem. I like it the old way. You go to the ballpark, you get your ballot, you borrow the pencil from the guy next door to you, and you fill out your bracket, you turn it in, and there we go. So, and you could fill out as many of those as you wanted to, but, you know, who wanted to do that? So, as long as it works out and that the right guy is starting, like, for example, I see that the Yankees catcher, actually, he's not the starter right now. That changed. But for a while, Sanchez was leading the way, and he's not having a good offensive year. So, and there's some good stories, too, and we'll go over it a little later, where Matt Kemp, who's had a comeback year with the Dodgers, he's leading the National League in hitting right now, and he's also going to be the starting left fielder in the National League. So you got to feel good about that. That's good, and that vote thing is working. So and I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really surprised. As a matter of fact, let's take a quick look at the standings in Major League Baseball. The Yankees in Boston are all tied up, followed by Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore. In the Central, Cleveland's on. Oh, look, Detroit's starting to close the gap a little bit, even with Cleveland's pitching. Cleveland's got a 3-game lead on Detroit, followed by Minnesota, Chicago, and Kansas City. How about Kansas City? 22-50. Just 3 years ago, they won the World Series. How about that? Crazy. But you're not going to sign guys like that, the first baseman who went to San Diego. They're not going to spend that kind of money. In the American League West, you've got Houston, who's won 12 in a row, by the way. But what's impressive is they've won 12 in a row, and Seattle's right there. They're only 2 games back. So that American League West is really looking good. You got Houston on top of Seattle 2 games. Then the Angels, but the Angels are already 10 games back. I didn't realize that. Followed by Oakland and Texas. In the National League, the Atlanta Braves have opened up a 3.5-game lead on the Nationals. And the Nationals in New York yesterday, or it was either in New York or where was that? In New York, Dave, when they played the Nationals? The Yankees, where'd they play the Nationals? Was that here or there?
National, and not DC.
It was in D.C.?
Yes, sir,
Yeah, because I noticed Bryce Harper shaved. So that was the media's having a good time with this. Is, if you want to be a Yankee, you can't have any facial hair. So yeah, so they can have him. There's something about that guy I just don't like. All right, so Atlanta's got a 3.5-game lead on Philadelphia. Actually, Philadelphia is percentage points ahead of Washington. Then Washington, the Mets, and Miami. In the Central, you got the Cubs, who, Dave, I just want to see, did the Cubs beat the Dodgers today? When you get a chance, take a look at that. I know they played a day game at Wrigley. Chicago and Milwaukee are all tied up. That's going to be a good race all the way down, followed by St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. In the end, 4-3 comeback. They came back and won that game. How about that? In the West, Arizona's got a 2-game lead over the Dodgers, followed by San Francisco, Colorado, and San Diego. The National League West is going to be a good division, too, coming down the stretch. So it's going to be real good in baseball. And a lot of teams that nobody thought, for example, that the Atlanta Braves would have a 3.5-game lead on the Washington Nationals or on the Philadelphia Phillies. Listen, we got a long way to go, but when these things happen, when Milwaukee's playing well, and you got Arizona, and you got smaller market teams playing well and making it a run, you got to love that. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes baseball great. And you just want your team to be in there. You just want them to be in there in July and August and make September interesting. That's all. You just want to make it interesting for you. That's all you want to do. So, matter of fact, let's see. Oh, you know what? We'll do it after the break. I'll tell you who the starters are as of today in the American League and National League. That's coming up. I believe that's like July 12th or something like that. Probably in about 2 or 3 Tuesdays from now, or 2 Tuesdays from now. Matter of fact, we'll be here, and then I'll rush home and get to the All-Star game. And I certainly hope last week you had an opportunity to watch Hank Aaron in the booth with ESPN for the Mets-Braves game last week. What a joy that was. Henry Aaron looks great. A little heavy on the stomach side, but okay, no big deal. His mind is in his 80s. His mind is sharp. Kind of cool. They had Billy Williams call in the show, the former Cub. So, and there's a ton of guys from Mobile, Alabama that were major leaguers. So just kind of neat and great to see Henry Aaron. Him and Mays, those are the iconic guys still alive and still with us. We got to treat these guys the way they need to be treated because they're iconic. And at the end of the day, Henry Aaron's the guy. And in my mind, he's still the home run hitting contest guy. But, you could have your opinion. All right, you're listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday with me, John Friedman. Give me a call on the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-9282. That's 732-545-WCTC. We're going to check the roads. We're going to check weather. It's a hot one today. You're listening to Talking Sports. We'll be right back.
Friedman. You might know me as the host of Talking Sports on WCTC, but I do have a day job. I'm the Business Development Director at SCG Advertising and Public Relations in Parsippany, and I'd like to tell you about how SCG can help advertisers reach their potential customers in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world. There are so many options, from all the traditional media to the practically limitless digital and social platforms that are available, making it harder than ever for businesses to get their message in front of the right audience. Well, at SCG, we help our clients strengthen their relationships, reputations, and brands by integrating their message across the entire media spectrum. We understand the options available to advertisers, and we will work with you to determine the best creative and media plan for your business. So learn more about SCG Advertising and Public Relations by visiting scgadv.com. That's scgadv.com. We'll help you reach your potential customers, all of them.
Where can you go to get both selection and service from people who care about your pet as much as you do? Katie's Pet Depot on 130 in North Brunswick. Katie's carries only the finest foods for your best friends. In fact, at Katie's, you can buy every imaginable premium pet supply, product, food, and more. If you're looking for something and you can't find it at Katie's, they will get it for you. Check the schedule at katie'spetdepotnewjersey.com for the low-cost clinics this month hosted by VIP Healthcare and pet adoptions. Come to Katie's for all your dog grooming needs, and they also do small animal nail trimming, reptile nails, big nails, and wings. You simply won't find that at bigger retail stores. Katie's Pet Depot, the place where animals really do come first, on Route 130 in North Brunswick next to ShopRite. Call 732-442-0056. 732-422-0056.
Checking WCTC traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. Still with delays on the Garden State Parkway northbound exit 131, led by the Colonial Rest area. You're backed up. There's a crash on the southbound side. And that has things backed up all the way to exit 135. It's now off on the shoulder. 130 southbound at Radar Road in North Brunswick. A crash is being worked on. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of the community. Reach out and change their world. It will change your own. Unbound.org. It's currently 86 degrees. That's your WCTC traffic watch.
Now the 1450 WCTC forecast. Beautiful weather this evening in central Jersey. Pleasantly warm, clear skies, and overnight lows at 60 to 65. Clouds do thicken up tomorrow. A scattered afternoon shower, high 80 to 85. Showers become a steadier period of rain Wednesday night. Then sunshine returns Thursday, and we're back in the 80s. With the 1450 WCTC forecast, I'm Ken Elliott.
All right, we're talking sports on a Tuesday on the voice of Central Jersey. Talk Radio 1450 WCTC. I'm Jan Friedman. If you want to call the show, give us a call quickly at the Ocean County College call-in line at 732-545-WCTC. All right, let me update you here on where we are with the All-Star voting. We'll start with the National League real quickly. We got Buster Posey right now leads the way at catcher. He's playing a lot of first base this year, too, by the way. At first base, you got Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves. At second base, you get Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves. Let's see. At shortstop, you got Brandon Crawford of the Giants. At third base, you got Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies. He's a good third baseman. In the outfield, it looks like it's going to be Nick Markakis of the Braves, Bryce Harper of the Nationals, and Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. So that's a look at the National League. Let's take a quick look at the American League, and where I said that Sanchez is now he is not the leading vote getter. Right now, it's catcher Wilson Ramos is now the starting catcher for the American League, and the infield is made up of a bunch of Jose's. We've got at first base, Jose Abreu. We've got at second base, Jose Altuve. And at third base, we've got Jose Ramirez. How about that? The Jose infield. At shortstop, we got Manny Machado. Where's he going to get dealt? That's going to be interesting. And what are you going to give up to get him? In right field, you got the Yankees' Aaron Judge. Left, you got Mookie Betts. In center, you got Mike Trout. And at DH, you've got J.D. Martinez. What a pickup he was for Boston. Man, he's been really good. And imagine how late he signed. Let me update you on the Major League Baseball stat leaders. In the American League, Jose Altuve is batting .342. Man, he is such a good player. In the National League and leading the average is Matt Kemp of the Dodgers with a .338. I'm real happy for Matt Kemp. It's great to see a nice comeback year for him. In National League and home runs, in home runs for the American League is Mike Trout with 23. In the National League, Bryce Harper in his free agent year, he has 19. Runs batted in the American League is who I just spoke about, J.D. Martinez of the Boston Red Sox. Runs batted in the National League is Trevor Story of the Colorado Rockies. In the American League, Corey Kluber leads the way in wins with 10. And the Yankees, by the way, Luis Severino, he also has 10. In the National League in wins, Matt Scherzer has 10. He's a good pitcher. There's something about Washington, though. There's just something about them that's just not a good team. I don't know what it is. In the American League, Justin Verlander, which is crazy with a DH and everything, has a 1.61 ERA. That's just nasty. That's just unbelievable. And Jacob deGrom, how about that? He got some runs last night and got a win. He's got a 1.51 ERA. Is he going to get traded? Is him or Syndergaard going to get traded? I don't think that's going to happen. But if the Yankees or if the Mets were thinking of doing it, you better get people's top 3 prospects if you're going to make that deal. I'm going to make an assumption they're not going to make that deal because with those kind of players, you don't get equal value at the trade deadline. It doesn't exist. You're not going to get it. So if you are going to do something like that, you do it in the offseason. That's when you do that. In the American League, Edwin Diaz of Seattle has 27 saves, which is a good reason why Seattle's playing the way they are. And in the National League, Brad Hand has 21 saves. Brad Hand should go ahead and pack his bags because even though San Diego, who's been playing much better, 3-4 games under 500, pack your bags, Brad, because you're getting traded. You're going to a team that needs somebody in the bullpen or a closer. That's what's going to happen. You talk about an influential player, by the way, Lorenzo Cain, who was with Kansas City, who's now with Milwaukee. Man, he has had a good year. The Milwaukee Brewers, I bet you can't name 5 Milwaukee Brewers, but they're getting it done, and they're going to go with the Cubs the whole way all year. So should be interesting. Let's take a look at tonight's games in the in Major League Baseball. Cubs and Dodgers, as you heard, Dodgers won 4-3. That's a day-night doubleheader, Dave. I don't know if you know. That's a day-night. So they play another one at 8:05 tonight. Orioles are at Nationals, a little belt highway series there. Brewers at Pirates. Mariners at Yankees. Cardinals at Phillies. Braves and Blue Jays. White Sox and I knew you'd say that. White Sox and Indians. Tigers and Reds. Red Sox and Twins. Rays and Astros. Rays trying to knock the Astros off their 12-game winning streak. Mets and Rockies. And how about the Mets? They took 2 out of 3 from Arizona this weekend. D-backs and Angels. Athletics and Padres. And the Marlins and Giants. So that's what's happening in Major League Baseball. And I see here that it looks like the Red Sox are kind of going hard after Machado of Baltimore. And what's crazy about Machado also, normally a third baseman plays shortstop now and is going to be the all-star shortstop. Some player. But, Baltimore's in a tough spot. What I don't understand about Baltimore is they had to know they weren't going to be very good. Why didn't you trade him in the offseason? I don't get that because you're not going to get equal value. And if you hold on to him, it's not a total loss. If you lose him in free agency, you'll get draft picks for it. But I just don't understand. You had to know that you were not going to compete this year and how you didn't know that. And then you may have been able to put together a nice package of young prospects for this kid. And I just don't get it. So, and I'm hoping that, he's going to end up on one of these teams, big market teams that are going to spend the money. And the thing is, though, if I'm one of these big market teams and I'm acquiring him and I'm giving prospects up, he better sign an extension because I'm not making the deal unless he signs an extension. So we'll see what happens with Machado there. Should be interesting. And as Mark Schwartz talked about earlier, and I heard it also earlier on, actually on another sports talk show today, that, now's when you're at the trading deadline and in the August trading deadline is where you're going to see people improve their bullpen. You never start the year off with a solid bullpen. You never know how your bullpen's going to, but what you do is you build your bullpen along the way. So the contending teams, if they need a lefty out of the pen or they need a righty, they need a situational guy, you'll see a lot of those kind of moves. You won't see a lot of closers getting moved, but you will see maybe the San Diego guy who has 21 saves. But for the most part, guys that have saves or teams are in position to try to win. So that's probably going to be the case. But we'll see. Is the guy is the third baseman? What's the third baseman's name in Kansas City? What's his name? The Moustakas? Is that his name? Yeah, he's going to get traded. He signed a 1-year deal with Kansas City. So there's got to be a team that's going to need a third baseman or a DH or whatever it's going to be. There's no way if Kansas City was to hold on to him, it'd be crazy. And what big starting pitcher is going to get traded? Cole Hamels. Who else? Who's going to get traded? Again, I don't think any of the Mets guys are going to get traded, but who's going to get traded? So you're going to see some teams. And again, don't get too caught up in the July 31st deadline. There's the August 31st deadline. The difference is in August, you got to clear waivers. And it goes to the worst team. They get the first dibs, and then you go backwards. So we'll see how that ends up. So it should be a good sports week. Don't forget you got the College World Series on. You got the NBA draft tomorrow. It's going to be a doozy. If you have a team and that you got a few picks in the first round or some picks in the second round and you're trying to improve your team, it's going to be a lot of, and I think there's going to be some wheeling and dealing that we don't know about. I just have a feeling there's going to be some wheeling and dealing, and what are the Knicks are going to do? What are the Brooklyn Nets going to do? These are teams that are thinking of macro. They're thinking about the future. So we'll see how all of that ends up, and I hope everybody has a safe rest of the week. Remember, I always tell you, if you're going to drink and drive, or don't drink and drive, obviously, call Uber, call your neighbor, or call the police because they're kind of obligated to get you home. So that's good, important stuff, and I always tell you that. So should be a good sports weekend, and you can get us on our sister station, WMTR AM 1250 on Thursday night at 7:30. All right. Looks like we're coming to the end of this week's show. We'll talk to you again on Thursday night from WMTR. As always, I hope your team wins. I want to thank Dave Race behind the glass and making it happen. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our callers. And I especially want to thank you, the listeners. You've been listening to Talking Sports on a Tuesday. I'm John Friedman. Have a great rest of the week, everybody.
From the ProCure Proton Therapy Cancer Treatment Studios, this is 1450 WCTC, New Brunswick, a beat